If you've just started out day trading or you're interested in day trading and you want to get just a little bit of advice from somebody who's been doing it for a few years, then this video is going to be for you. I'm going to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew before I started day trading, or at least started the attempt of it. My name is Ernest, and this is my channel, Vision Factory Trading Co. And I kind of missed the raw style videos on YouTube, so I'm going to keep this raw as best as I can. In fact, I'll even take off the cool shades, the $10 Amazon shades. I'm going to talk through 5 things here. So the first thing that I would say, if I wish I would have known this before I started, was no one has your best interest in mind when it comes to your trading journey. And that can be really hard to grasp, but the truth is that the people that are out there telling you that they can teach you, they can show you, join their Discord, join their community, buy their indicators, buy their stuff, whatever the case may be, the truth is that they don't care. And they shouldn't, to be fair. Like, they shouldn't. It's not their responsibility to care about your trading journey. I think it's okay to join those communities if that's what you feel you need or want or whatever. But I would put one filter on that, and that would be that if they don't show you their trades live, then they're not worth following. They're not worth paying. People that now I'll give a caveat to this. If they're giving call-outs and they are how do I define it? Like, if they are like, this is the call-out, this is the trade, I'm executing on it. So like, say via text, then I think that's okay. But I've been in groups where what ends up happening is they'll say something like, hey, so we might see a reversal right here. And then next thing you know, it's like, yeah, I took it. And it's like, well, you didn't say that it was for sure. You said that it might. And so I'm kind of, and so it leads to frustration. And so again, this is supposed to be 5 things that I wish I knew before I started day trading. So in that case, if they're not showing you live trades, they're not worth following. Get out of the group, get out of the community. They don't have your best interest. Their best interest is in keeping you as a subscriber so that you can keep paying. Because the more that you pay, the lower risk that they have in the market. Why? Because if they pay, let's say they have $15,000 that's coming in a month on subs, well, then they can afford to either put that money into a live market, some of it, and risk it, or if they're doing like funded accounts, then they can afford to buy a lot of funded accounts. And also know this, that the top traders that you see from a marketing standpoint, they're not paying for their evals. Like, I didn't find that out until just recently from people who work at these firms. They don't pay for their evals. So just, no one has your best interest in mind. The only person that's going to have your best interest is going to be you. The next thing that I would say, number 2 of the 5 things, would be that demo trading is actually a really great teacher. I've overspent, I'm just reading my phone here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I put my notes here. I didn't memorize all this, but I overspent on buying evals and buying them in loads, especially at the beginning. I would buy, anytime there was discounts, you see these 80-90% off discounts, I would buy like 10 at a time, maybe spend like $100, and it doesn't seem like it's a big expense, but it, over time, it adds up. This comes with a caveat, and this is not financial advice, but again, demo trading is a great teacher, and it's okay to give yourself a goal within demo trading. So I've done this a couple of times now, a few times, and I'm probably back to it again. I blew my funded today. But like, demo trading is good if you set certain parameters around it. So just clicking the button is not going to work. But if you're saying, hey, I'm going to have a certain strategy, I'm going to trade that strategy every day or every week, whatever the case is that you're trying to do, and then you track the P&L, you track the stats on it. If you're tracking it properly, then just give yourself a goal and say, so the first time I did this, I gave myself a goal of, I think it was $6,000 is what I needed to make in demo. When I made $6,000, I was going to allow myself to buy an eval. This was a summer ago, and I did it. I I hit my target, and I did $6,000 because at the time, and it's still the case, a $50,000 eval account usually is around 3,000 for the profit target. And so I told myself, if I can hit that twice, that would be equivalent to a payout. And so I did that on demo first, and then I went and bought, I think I bought 2 evals because they were like on sale, again, 90% off or whatever. And then I actually kept those 2 accounts for like 4 months and got payouts every month off of those. I think I got one payout a month. And so again, like, if 5 things I knew before I started day trading, it's okay to trade demo for a minute to kind of just get your hands on there and to figure things out without overspending. Number 3, backtesting religiously is incredibly unhealthy. I really wish I would have known this at the beginning, because I've wasted a lot of time backtesting and staring at candlesticks and trying to figure things out. Now, please hear me when I say this, because what I'm not saying is that backtesting is bad. What I'm saying is overspending time doing it is you are going to hit a law of diminishing return. I used to backtest like 10 hours a day. This is when I didn't have a job, and what I literally dream about candlesticks. Like, it got so bad, like I wasn't like spending time with my family. I wasn't taking breaks. I was just like on the charts. I was skipping hanging out with friends. And granted, there's a cost to like doing anything that's ambitious. However, backtesting for that long is just not worth it. So if you're going to backtest, which I think you should do some backtesting, just set a time limit on it and just say, like, I will spend X amount of hours or X amount of days or whatever. Like, maybe you have a day where you do backtesting day. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, for these 2 hours, I'm going to backtest, and I'm going to track certain statistics within that. And that's kind of the other thing. Like, you need to track certain things in your backtesting. So just, again, 5 things I wish I would have known is that backtesting for 40 hours a week is not going to make you profitable. It's just not. In fact, you'll, I guess just to add to that, you learn way more being in a live market than you do in backtesting, because backtesting doesn't show you the actual mechanics and the movements of the market like it does live, especially the moment you put a trade on and now you have to manage that trade. You have to, it's like, then all of a sudden it's like all the doubts come up, all the, well, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm right? Like, okay, this is going in my direction. Now, do I go break even? Do I not? Like, all those things only really come from the live market. So don't overspend your time on backtesting. Spend some time, but limit it. Another thing I wish I would have known, this should be a given, but I thought I was going to be a millionaire my first year. No joke. I legit told my friends, I was like, I'm going to make 7 figures this year. Like, no doubt. So I wish I would have known that it was going to take a couple of years just to start understanding some of the market mechanics, just to start getting a grasp of how the market actually moves. I've gotten a lot better now where, like, when I say that, that's with an asterisk, but like, I've gotten better at least being able to notate the market in a way where at least I kind of know, like, yeah, this is going to go up, or this is going to go down, or this next candle should kind of do this like, and it's not really because I have, some sort of indicator. I mean, I do have indicators on there, but like, I just have watched it enough that I kind of know, like, yep, I'm in the wrong trade, or like, yeah, this looks good. And so again, it takes a couple of years just to start to understand how the market moves, and that can sound a little bit defeating, especially if you're just starting out. But that, what I want to say to that is that doesn't mean that you can't be profitable in your first year, or in your first go around in trading. It just means, it just means that over time you'll get more and more used to how the market moves. And then you're going to have the days or the seasons where the market just does something completely different. Like when Trump got into office, I wasn't trading during his first term, so I didn't know. I knew that the market was volatile, but I didn't know how volatile it would be until he took office in January. And then I saw how the market was moving, and I was like, wow, I've never seen the market move like this. But now I know. It's like, okay, now I know this is how the market moves when, an authoritative figure takes over, the country, and all of a sudden it moves the way that it does. So just know that it'll take a couple of years. And again, that's something I wish I would have known beforehand. Or not even known, because you can know these things, but like, I wish I would have like actually taken that to heart. I wish I would have, like, at the beginning said, okay, I'm gonna start this journey, but it's gonna take me some time, and that's okay. That would actually honestly alleviate a lot of frustrations along the way. And the last thing out of the 5 things that I wish I knew is being willing to take time away from the charts. Sometimes during the learning phase, like, kind of going back to number 3, like you want to study more, you want to backtest more, you blow an account, and now all of a sudden, like even today, I already caught myself doing it where now I'm like, okay, let me try to go backtest this thing real quick. Maybe I missed this, maybe, and it's like, sometimes you just need to take some time off. And don't be afraid to. Like, don't be afraid to delete X for a week or two, to shut down the YouTube live streams, to turn off the community stuff on Discord, to just step away, like turn off the charts and just step away for like a week or two. If you find yourself where you hit that point where you're just like, you're super frustrated, you're trying to figure this out, you're jumping strategy to strategy, like take a break. Please take a break. The markets will always be there. And I think that's something that I've done in the last year, where I've taken some pretty extensive breaks actually. Probably more than I needed to, but I just needed a reset. I just needed to mentally reset. I needed to kind of let the emotions of it all kind of die off. And then once the emotions of it die off, then come back to it and you'll feel fresh, you'll feel revitalized, you'll feel hopeful again. So don't be afraid to take time off from the charts if you ever find yourself kind of hitting that frustration point, because you will. And when you do, take some time off. So anyways, these are the 5 things that I would encourage anybody starting out. You don't have to take my advice. You don't have to take what I say, but I would, if I was teaching my son this, these would probably be the things that I would tell him first. Is like, hey, let's set some expectations before we get started. And just know that it takes a long time. Like, I have to remind myself of that too. Like, it takes a long time, and so having some of these items in the toolkit, I hope can be very helpful for you. If you find this video and you find it helpful, I'd love to know. I'd love to know how your trading journey has been, and maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I missed something. So feel free to drop it in the comments. Let me know. But anyways, until then, see ya.